And I think the general consensus is that, yes, maybe we could bullshit, but I feel like our statuses within the company would belie the fact that we're not qualified to make any of the decisions that would warrant someone coming. And, it would be an instant tell if I was, managing a relationship with some kind of technology broker or some kind of person representative from a company selling a technology. Like my 2-year anniversary is coming up in a little bit less than a month. And that's just, not enough time at a company, I think, to make a decision like that, like about, what technologies and what, software we want to use. So it would definitely raise some eyebrows. And the equivalent for Daniel would be, well, I don't know if I can say it on air, but the equivalent for Daniel would be like me coming in if I were to go to Daniel's place of work, it would be me, almost imagine me as like a very wealthy entrepreneurial, energy tycoon. Right, Daniel? Like I'd have to come in and be like, I've set up power plants and I've set up solar farms and I've set up turbines from Kalamazoo to San Antonio.
Like I met virtually with Southern Nuclear, with some people from Southern Nuclear, Southern Company. Like you could. What's that?
Like they do seem young, like they're. Like, like the kind of vibe of like those Texas oil barons that have kids, like they're oil barons and their kids kind of inherit the family business. You know what I mean? Like after Rex Tillerson croaks, like what's his son doing? Like, do they need an heir? Okay. Like I can be ExxonMobil. I can be the heir to ExxonMobil.
First of all, we don't do anything with oil, but like you don't have to be an heir. You could just be like a regular employee.
I want to be an heir. Okay. Fuck that. I want to be an heir to an energy company. You see what they do all day? Nothing. They live in like $100 million mansions and I don't know, drink champagne out of I don't know, some kind of fancy way to drink champagne. Some way that I'm too poor to even think of a way to fancily drink this kind of champagne. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I want that job, Daniel. Can I fake it? I don't know. Would it be fun? Yes.
It's like being an energy heir is like being able to see into the fourth dimension. It's like we can't even comprehend what all they get to do all day. I think Tanner's the most likely out of us three to become that one day, though.
To fake it, yeah. It would be like Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, you think? Oh, snap!
You think might get adopted?
Yeah, you think I could get just marry into or get adopted into like a wealthy like oil baron's family?
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like that at some point this is kind of my only pathway to like home ownership. Like rent is expensive. The divide between median salary and payment on houses is really steadily increasing. There's a future where it's like I just might not be able to afford a house. In an area I want, and it's a reality that a lot of Americans are facing. It's a concern that a lot of Americans are, have and are considering, and it's certainly charged, going into this next political cycle. So let's not discount that, right? I lost steam. I thought I was going to go somewhere and go for a political bend, but I'm not going to go there.
Well, we have plenty of time for that in future episodes. With the election is still months away, so don't worry, Tim.
And everyone, I want our listeners to know, but if you want the most in-depth analysis, then you keep.
We should cover election results of this podcast. Let's turn this podcast into a political correspondence podcast. Right?
Yeah, I feel like Alex could be on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, Alex, you're a correspondent on Capitol Hill.
Do you want me to actually be there with like the background of it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. You don't want me just like anywhere with the very obvious green screen behind me of like, oh yeah, I'm definitely at Capitol Hill right now.
No, we're gonna pay you to get out. We
All
make a
right.
lot of money because we're
We'll fly
doing
you out.
political
Yeah.
commentary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean, we'll get the people talking. That's for sure.
This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
And someone else, and another someone else, and that other someone else is our political correspondent in Washington, D.C. Alex, how's it going? What's the weather like and the temperament among voters within the Washington's congressional district?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Tanner. And yeah, it's it's D.C. It's humid here. It's muggy. It's not the best time to be here, but they originally built this on top of a swamp. They drained it all, so it's a little tough in that regard. But I think people are nervously excited. We see that Kamala Harris has officially taken the reins as a Democratic nominee and has nominated a vice presidential candidate from Minnesota, and that's really gotten the people talking. I was day drinking earlier today when I got the news on my phone, and me and some of the buddies were pretty jazzed about that, as I imagine most of the populace around the city was. So yeah, we have to do a little more research on this guy, see what he's really about, see if he has any ties to illegal gambling rings, that sort of thing. But otherwise, we're excited. It's a race now.
Yep.
Start your engines, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. I was going to continue with the joke, but yeah, I just realized there was a major piece of political news, and I can't tell if day drinking was like a bit, or if I'll continue with the bit. This is just a bit pause.
We've had some political figures kind of get a spotlight shown on them for unprofessional behavior, and I would hate for that to extend to me. So we can definitely just brush over whether or not I was actually doing that. Take it away, Tanner.
Oh, perfect. Let's do that. All right. Well, what the fuck? Oh, did I cut out? Am I cutting out?
Oh, absolutely not.
My screen just went dark.
No, you're good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, no issues on your end. This is, by the way, for our listeners, this is still part of our political show. This is
testing.
Yeah, I think the amount of traffic generated by the vice presidential nomination is kind of
I can hear you.
Tanner's bandwidth now. Yeah, there's a lot of excitement on the web. A lot of people are surfing right now. Once we get those connection issues sorted out, we can go on to the other exciting geopolitical development in the last couple weeks. We got people surfing the web. We also got people surfing in Tahiti as part of the Olympics. Daniel, what do you think?
Are the Olympics? So let me ask that. I heard from, so I can watch it on, I have Peacock. So I guess I can watch it on there, right?
That sounds right.
That's right, yeah. Maybe I'll start watching it. I don't know. It's like, here's my hot take, okay?
What's your hot take?
I feel like the Olympics is just too long. It goes too long, okay? Way too long. We need to shorten it down.
Yeah, we should just the big events. Like, let's just why are there so many like races? Like 800 meters, 500 meters, 1,000 meters. Let's just have one like short sprint, one like marathon. I want a marathon, and like same thing with like swimming. Like screw the breaststroke, backstroke. No, just like what's the fastest you can swim? Like whatever that is, put them in a sprint and them in like a marathon-esque, like a longer-ish race. Like let's reduce our structure. Am I right?
Yeah, we got a lot of middle children in the Olympics, that's for sure. And we probably middle children as far as races, go. And also, I think you probably get a lot of middle children competing as well because, I don't know, it seems like being a middle child, you might have this drive to be noticed. You kind of get, they love the younger and the oldest is kind of gets the attention too. But yeah, I think those middle children have passion. So we could use more middle children and less middle children at the same time in the Olympics, I think.
No, I agree. I think being a middle child probably has its advantages. You want to stand out and strive to be different from your siblings. I wonder if there's been any studies on like random weird correlations between like number of gold medals you've earned and like what is your sibling status? Like how many siblings do you have? Wouldn't that be funny? Or something like I don't know, some random stat like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a random stat not related to like biology. Obviously, if you're taller, you're going to have an advantage in like swimming. You're going to have longer strides, But God, something weird like that. Something obscure. I bet there's some obscure link, and it's just they're going to call it the Olympian drive, and Malcolm Gladwell is going to make a story or something. Yeah. He's going to be like, it's a little known fact that or he's going to start saying something like this. You will never be an Olympian. You don't have what it takes. The average Olympian has eaten more bananas when they were 5 years old than you have probably eaten in your entire life. Or something weird like that, right? Like, they did a study. In a 2028 study, Harvard University concluded that, highly correlated is the number of bananas you had when you were 5 and the number of gold medals you'll earn. Yeah. Yeah. Or something like that. This isn't an outlier. This is the key to success. You must have eaten these bananas or you'll never make it.
This is not correlation. It's 100% causation.
It's 100% causation. Do not get those two twisted. This is caused by the number of bananas they ate. Scientists don't know why. They just know that it's definitely causation and not correlation.
Yeah.
They can't explain.
0.6 of a second, it comes from one banana. There's a
linear. They call it the Olympic difference.
Yeah.
The Olympic difference.
LP's new book. Well, there's literally, I remember in Outliers, he talks about like people whose names begin with A or something, or there's.
Oh like, yeah, right. Like the last names begin with A.
Yeah.
Right.
Where it's like,
and so they got picked on more.
Like the hockey team, and they like get picked first or something. I forget exactly what it is, but it's literally something like that where it's like, oh, it's kind of innocuous, but no, it ends up kind of mattering for them.
I remember. It is something. Yeah. Or is that Freakonomics or something?
Those are very similar vibes of book. Daniel, have you read the one with the foreword by our very own Daniel Silverstein? The Outliers edition recently came out.
No, I can't say I have.
Oh, that's kind of fun, Daniel. Since
hockey birthdays, 40% of the players have been born between January and March.
Wow.
And any elite group of soccer players. The key word in his argument being any. Makes conclusions, have enough, making a hasty generalization. Oof, this is a scathing
they going after
essay. It kind of looks like a fake essay.
Like AI?
On it. Like one of those essays that, hey, I'm going to say something, and you guys can either be like, no, Tanner, I've never done that. But you guys ever remember like looking up like how to answer your essay, and you find those websites that have like, here is the importance of the whale in Moby Dick, or something a little bit more obscure than that, but like kind of answering your question, and it would be the first like paragraph or intro paragraph to like what you're trying to write about, and then it would be like show more content and you can pay for the rest. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I would believe that they're out there, but I know
like the essay writing, like the essay writing people.
Upstanding academic integrity.
I never did that.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely
Obviously, I realized I could write better than, these people who are probably like college students who are very overworked and just writing bullshit for the sake of bullshit for high schoolers that are willing to pay $25 for an essay. But I always found it fascinating how they had so many. And, as an adult, I now realize it's probably because, you'll have like Joe Schmo be like, okay, here's what my teacher's having me write. And, teachers share materials.
Oh, yeah.
So the person's probably already written an essay, so they just share the first paragraph of it. I thought as a kid that they were just, what was I even thinking? That they were just writing essays for like the fun of it, and they just had a bunch of essays ready to go for all questions like teachers would ask about like random rhetorical device in X book. Like I always thought it was so weird how there's so many of them. But I realize it's probably because teachers share material and then, you can then post your results, like the website, the company then post that they do that. But I just wanted to see if you guys also remember that. That thing that.
I remember it being a secondhand account for sure. Never having participated in that at all, but
neither. I'm
of course.
Yeah. Point is, I'm on a website looking at that right now and looking at something similar, and it's like show more content. But it was the first link when was it the first link? Well, it was the Google AI suggested link where they kind of copied it, but it was about the Canadian hockey team and that the best players are born in the beginning of the year. Basically, the claim's proven to be a fallacy. Let's see. Hockey players with birthdays in later months don't have any less of an advantage. Doesn't make you good. It's hard work, passion, and dedication is what makes it good. Yeah. But where am I going with this? Point is, it was a fallacy. But I think Malcolm Gladwell is onto something. There's got to be, if you could probably convince someone of like something like that, because he writes very convincingly. Like I kind of think Malcolm Gladwell is like I don't know. He was born to be a writer.
Writer of
Outliers. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's hard to explain, but he he's just a writer.
He has the authority.
Yeah,
like,
he writes with authority.
Yeah,
David versus Goliath wasn't actually that. Yeah, it wasn't actually that big of a insurmountable foe.
Exactly.
Right.
But he could just put the little like I forget exactly what they're called, but when they have the little annotations and it's like the
footnotes
script or whatever. Yeah. Like he could just put those in there and then not have.
Do not listen to me in footnotes. This is fake. It's just like actually 40% of NHL players don't have birthdays in the first 3 months of the year. Little footnote. This is actually like Harvard studies have actually like come out and said no, this isn't.
We debunked this.
Yeah, that would be very funny. A Malcolm Gladwell footnote editor, and it would essentially be just what I'm looking at right now. This like these fake, not fake, but written for high school essays, and like I want to see something. It's just like here's an annotation or a footnote from this essay generation website. This is the one I was looking at. If you were wondering, it's not. It's a .org.
They did the thing where they
show more.
So content. For everyone listening to the podcast, Tanner is sharing a screen, and the first sentence begins. It is a question, which I remember being told that's like capital.
That's really juvenile.
Yeah.
Right, like it's like.
Okay, buddy, we get it.
Okay, you're like it's.
That's a long answer. Yeah. Anyway. I mean, he could tell me they live within 5 miles of a zoo or something. Be like, oh yeah, because there's animals.
The most successful zoologists all grew up within 5 miles of a zoo. If you want to be a zoologist, if you want to make it as a zoologist, you should have been born differently somewhere, buddy. Pal. Daniel, what do you think about beginning an essay with a question?
I feel like like beginning an essay with a question, I feel like you should have had an answer already.
Yeah, like come on, why? Like, I'm here to read your answer. Don't ask me, bro. Like, what are you doing? But then again, rules are made to be broken, as with all art.
I don't know. It kind of feels like
I think if you have a one word,
it's cringy.
question,
It kind of sounds like high school. It's like
I think
to be or not to be. It has like angst and edginess to it. It's like okay, you're trying too hard to be like literal. Just tell me what you want to say. Like that's what essays are about. Just tell me. Go. You know, don't make me think. You did the thinking for me. Let me like read. The thinking should be, you know, how what you read and interpret fits into your own worldview, and like how you have to reconcile that with what you believe. That's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be having to answer any questions. This isn't a math test. Like, what the hell? You know, with an essay, be straightforward. Like that's. I feel like I've gotten brain rot from working in I think corporate America. Like if these emails are longer than, you know, a couple. It's like I'm not reading that. I'm not doing that for you. Oh, this is marked red with urgent. Why'd you type 5 paragraphs, buddy? I need bullets. Let's go. Right?
No, I mean, I think I've lost like 10% of my brain mass, honestly.
Because of emails. Oh, you feel like you've gotten super just working in corporate America,
just working
and not
just
being in school. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because right now I'm studying for like an engineering test I have to take to like
get certified.
Certified, that sort of thing. And I'm like, yo, this is way harder than it was 3 or 4 years ago.
To study or to the material?
To study, I think. It's just like I think my focus isn't quite it's not as locked in anymore. I don't know. Because you don't really, it's, you know, when you do homework, it's like, all right, I gotta kind of sprint here, knock these things out, but I don't know.
It's different. It's different as a. I feel that too. I'm trying to do a certification and level up and get like a kind of a heftier one for like Google Cloud, and it is difficult to just sit down after work and feel like you're doing more work.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like, oh my god, I don't want to do more work after work. Like that I'm not getting paid for either. I know obviously I don't see the immediate benefits, but like it's hard to kind of focus in on that and have that concentration and have that drive. And I think Malcolm Gladwell probably knows the answer to why, and it probably has something to do with my lack of potassium intake as a 5-year-old, and that's why I study.
Yeah. Well, your dopamine like receptors.
100%, 100% dopamine regulators all time low. Like I am just nothing.
It's it used to be a toll booth, and now it's just a super highway. Just
nothing feels fun anymore. That sounded sadder. That sounded sadder than it was. But when is being an adult sucks. Being 25, I'm 25 now. A quarter of a century. I'm like having my midlife crisis. You know, it's like not actually, but like I'm in my early 30s. You could admit like that.
I honestly have that same mindset. I'm like, I'm basically 30, which
I'm basically 30. But I'm basically 30. Yeah.
They go by quicker.
What am I doing with my life? Oh my god, I'll never own a house. Will I ever find happiness? And I don't know, like the white picket fence, you know, American dream, is that even achievable? You guys getting that one too? You guys getting that, like the scaries?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. It's tough. Speaking of midlife crises, though, Daniel, I'm curious, what's going to be your impulsive midlife crisis purchase? Is it going to be the classic, you know, can't really go wrong red sports car, or are you gonna?
I know what it's going to be. I'll let Daniel answer first, but.
Go ahead, Tanner. What's it going to be?
Well, is it better from a storytelling perspective? Now I'm thinking like Malcolm. Is it better from a storytelling perspective that you answer and I'm like, oh wow, that was way off from what I was going to say? And so the comedy is derived because I was way wrong, which I inevitably will be. Or should I say it right now and then, you know, the humor's kind of lost because you're like, no, that's not it at all. It's actually, you know, this.
All right, I'll go
Which
first.
one would
I
you?
don't
Yeah,
think,
thank you.
I don't think it would be a sports car. I'm not really a car person. Like, I see cars as more of a utility than as a fashion statement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not really I don't really make purchases. Like
He
I don't make
doesn't.
purchases
He's not a big
now.
spender. He's not a big spender.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why, as your midlife crisis,
that's why your midlife crisis, you finally crack, and you're like you just.
oh my
sink
god,
so
it's all fake.
much.
And I'm just gonna buy a sports car and drive it so fast. You know, I think that's what drives.
I mean, since Daniel, assuming he's still in Maryland, which I assume he is, he's pretty close to the water. He might want to
He buys a boat instead.
in his boat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Daniel, how dodoes a boat sound? You're not a car guy, and for the same reason, you're probably not a boat guy.
Yeah, I'm not really a boat guy either. I'm not that close to the water. I'm pretty far inland. Like,
Wait,
to get to the
from a
beach,
drive.
it's a couple hours at least.
Couple hours.
Maryland is not just one coastline.
Maryland's like the smallest state I've ever maybe thought about.
That's not.
Rhode Island doesn't enter the consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure it's in the smallest 10.
You maybe just think of Maryland. God damn it.
It's probably the smallest 10. Because I'm like west of DC, right? So.
Oh, you're even.
And DC is more inland than you think.
I think it's pretty inland, so that's pretty rude of you.
Tanner thinks like that.
Wait, where's Washington D.C. again? Just kidding. I'm joking.
So I'm probably like the coast.
So you're like
because
the
Chesapeake Bay kind of cuts into it. No.
Are you in the mountains or not?
No, I'm not in the mountain. I'm trying to think of what. Let me look at the longitude.
Are you like? Are you DMV or are you like actually west of DC? Like
no, I'm technically in the metro.
Okay.
Area, but like barely.
Okay. Oh, he's an ex-urban.
Yeah. I'm almost like as west as like Richmond is.
Cool. For everybody.
Really?
Yeah. Is that a good barometer? Maybe not.
Maybe. Kind of. I mean, I know Richmond's south, but I don't know how west it is.
Okay, let me go north.
West
let me see. Harrisburg. I'm actually.
Okay.
Well, but the problem is like the coast is kind of slanted, but yeah, it's a couple hours.
You're not going to the beach
like
every
ocean.
Saturday. Gotcha.
No, so the Chesapeake Bay cuts into Maryland, right? Maryland has a weird shape.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the weirdest shapes of the
I agree.
So the Chesapeake Bay kind of cuts into it. So I'm like an hour and a half from the bay. So Annapolis, if you're familiar, is on the bay, but it's not on the ocean coast.
Yeah.
Delaware is like in the way, is on the coast. So like Rehoboth Beach and Bethany Beach, those are in Delaware, and those are like really the closest beaches, and those are about 3 hours away. Because you basically have to cross the Chesapeake Bay. Like, it's the same thing as like Philadelphia is not technically on the ocean, right? It has New Jersey in the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a pretty insurmountable hazard. So what you're saying is a boat is less than practical for your midlife crisis purchase.
I mean, I could, but like I'd have to drive it a few hours.
Yeah.
Well, I could probably drive a boat on the bay, but it'd still be like an hour and a half, and I need I guess I could, like towing the boat would be another logistical nightmare. Like there's a lot of logistics that go into having a boat, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like you just, it's not like a,
it's not an extra car, it's a boat.
Even an extra car, but yeah, so like there's a lot of logistics that go into it. That would be like, I don't know, I guess you could do it. I'm sure people do it as a midlife crisis thing, but I'm just thinking about, I would just get stressed out and all, like I said, all the logistics of like, where am I going to keep the boat? How am I going to get it out there? Now I need to learn how to use it. I need to fuel it, you know, like.
Yep. That's why they say the best boat you can own is your best friend. Right, so they have to worry about the stress.
Yeah,
the
like when I went.
You know, and it's one that isn't yours or whatever.
When I lived in upstate New York, I would go on my coworker's boat.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's how you do it. You don't have to worry about any of the stress of.
You just give them an extra beer at
storage.
The end of the day. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. I'm bringing the beers. You bring the boat. We'll call it even.
Yeah, it's fair.
I mean, yeah, basically. So.
All right. So my prediction. I think he'll renovate a part of his house. He'll get his kitchen redone or something, right? Or get a bowling alley. That's my prediction.
Bowling alley, really?
Or a movie theater or something. That's my prediction for Daniel's midlife crisis. We'll have to set a remind me in a couple of years.
I'm close.
Yeah, Daniel, how old are you? What, you're 55 now?
Yeah, just I'm 27.
Wow, okay. For me,
my dad pointed out about a month ago, he's like, you got gray hair. And I was like, boy.
It's from all these podcasts talking to us.
It's the podcast.
Well, you do have good hair. Your dad, he still has his hair?
No. Not good hair, Tanner. Gray hair.
Gray hair? Oh no. Really? You're going gray? Just one or two hairs?
No reason to be
I would say concerned. It's a few, but it's more visible when my hair is a little longer.
Oh no! So
I just got it cut a week ago, and it doesn't look that you can't really see anything. But if I in a few weeks, you'll start to see I would say it's probably in the order of 3 to 5 hairs, but that's enough with my my dark brown hair that it shows. It's not just.
When do you think it'll be fully gray?
I don't have I didn't model my hair coloring.
You have your dad's hair then, right? Would you say?
I don't know how color
works.
Dad's
or grandparents?
So male pattern baldness is X-linked. But that's baldness.
X-linked, so that it comes from your mom.
Yeah, so your mom's father is how your hairline will.
Guys, I'm doomed. Sorry.
But I don't know about color. I don't know if color is also X-linked or if it's something else or if it's just
I'd say I have my dad's hair color, but my grandfather kind of had hair missing off the top, but hair on the sides. Whatever, I forget what that's called. That classic, old person.
Yeah. It's pretty. People can rock it, Tanner. So I wouldn't be too.
Yeah.
Concerned.
I don't think I'd be able to pull it off. You guys think I'd be able to pull off being bald and just owning it?
I think nobody thinks they can pull off being bald until they're bald, and then because being bald is better than there's a certain point of hair loss where it's okay, you need to switch over,
Yes, at a certain point, it's you just gotta cut your losses.
Yeah,
that's when you get a midlife crisis. That's when you get a new car.
You're
When I realized I gotta cut my losses, go into the barber and then go into the dealership after.
Yeah, it's a
1-2 punch. It's a 1-2.
Little treat called something I don't know.
I deserve a little treat.
After
I've been a good boy. I had to shave. I think I deserve a little treat, and that treat being
a
new Porsche or something. Yeah, something nice, something to be okay. Well, I just had to, make a sacrifice. I'm realizing I'm getting disillusioned. I'm getting older. I'm gonna die. Time to get a nice car. There's something about that is just kind of. I don't know. What would you guys say? We're closer to thinking than probably not thinking that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
getting to that point. That's sad. Well, we're closer to our first midlife crisis than our last. What'd you say? Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
What? Wait.
We're definitely at this point in our lives. We're closer to our first midlife crisis.
The median age of a midlife crisis has got to be 40, right? Maybe a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have my midlife crisis right now and die in a pool from a drug overdose at 50. I'm trying to think I got a little bit of money saved up. No, it's not going toward a down payment. It's going toward a new car, and I'm gonna go bald. Let's start the midlife crisis early, and then maybe you get that anxiety out of the way of you just I gotta own it. I'm getting older. I gotta own it. I gotta get a new car, and I gotta shave my head. You know, maybe there's some beauty in that, and finding some comfort in just owning your age.
Yeah, no, it's accepting yourself. I think that's part of it, which is a difficult thing to do. As I certainly know, and Daniel, you're kind of an expert on. Just kidding. We don't have to do that bit again.
Daniel being an old wise man, like a mentor figure to us.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he undoubtedly is. But Daniel, I don't think you've said your midlife crisis purchase.
Yeah. What ruminating? It might be one of those purchases he doesn't know until
You can also rank the ones that have been suggested. You know, like kitchen. I can kind of see the kitchen. I can kind of see it.
I feel like it's not going to be a purchase. It's going to be something else. You know,
trip.
Yeah, maybe
I know
a
that's
trip
still
or
a
something.
purchase, but that's like kind of an experience thing. I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like it's not going to be monetarily related. I think it's going to be something else.
Where you're gonna just like go work on a like national forest or something like that. Be like, I'm done.
Oh no,
Just, like,
I don't
move
like
to
being
Minnesota.
outside. It's got to be something. I don't know. I wish I knew so I could plan for it.
Yeah. Well, when I run into you on the like Boston Tea Party reenactment ship, and you're the one giving the tours, I'll know it's happened.
Oh yeah. I'd be like, Daniel, Mr. Silverstein?
Daniel Silverstein? There's no way.
What?
He's like, that's not me anymore. I'm
That's
Reverend.
not me. Yeah, I'm old man Reverend St. Paul, and I was here back in 1774 on the very ship. And what had happened was one of the 4 ships coming from England actually got destroyed in a storm, and only 3 of the ships with tea made it over. That's actually true, by the way. They were going to do 4 ships and ravage them, but the 4th got destroyed, got sent up a little bit north of Boston. Yeah, I've been reading, not reading, but I've been listening to a history podcast, pretty much covering the start of America, pretty much to Prohibition era America. That's where it's at. It's a lot. There's like 160 episodes and like an hour and a half each.
Oh my goodness. That's beefy. I don't think I've ever listened to anything.
No, it's pretty intense history. It's so detailed.
Okay,
It's like super history, but for some reason, and this might touch on a point you said earlier, Alex, like I feel like I have cognitive decline. So I feel like in an attempt to like enrich myself at least a little bit, I'm like, okay, while I'm driving, I gotta listen to something smart. I gotta like try to, rediscover a love of history that I never had. I hated history. I hated it. It was you have to memorize all these details.
History was absolutely my favorite subject, and I think always will be.
It's cool. Now listening to it, when it doesn't matter, there's no tests, no essays you have to write. I just get to listen to this guy talk about, like, here's what happened at this battle, and then here's the significance, and then here's what Patrick Henry said is a powerful orator, and he stood up in front of the first, in Boston Commons and the congregation and said, let's do this, and it was magnificent. And it's called History That Doesn't Suck, and it's kind of like
I think I've maybe
an orator type. Well, not orator, but like oral history. Is that what it's called? Where you kind of add like not sound effects, but like it's a little bit more immersive. I don't know what to.
Oh,
but it's almost
do they do like voices for the people? Or something?
Yeah, when it would be like. Okay. And General William Howe said in a letter to his wife, I do forbear this American revolutionary is not to be trifled with. They really got it in them. They finna got hands, though. And they'll do a little voice when they're talking about a British person or something. Yeah. But I honestly recommend. I stopped listening to it because I got a little bit like not bored. It just got too into the weeds. I'm like, oh my god! I had fun learning about like George Washington, and they covered like the first episode is George Washington, kind of from the start of his life covering French and Indian War, all the way to him being president. And then the next couple episodes are just kind of taking it from there. Not from him being president, but like early American history, like right around French and Indian War. And just covering like the events that kind of led to the Revolutionary War. But it just got so detailed. I kind of wish it would move a little faster. Like, it's describing like battle by battle, skirmish by skirmish. I'm kind of like, all right, I'm kind of over the Revolutionary War. I get that they fought in different battles. Like, move it along to, Appomattox Courthouse, and like, let's see the resolution here and how America changes as a result of Revolutionary War. Like, I kind of like that part about history class. Now, in retrospect, like where you kind of focus on the so what aspect. I mean, that's what history class is supposed to teach you, right? How can you think critically about history and what's the message? But this one's kind of just like here's everything that happened. Well, and admittedly, it is cool, like all this stuff that just did happen. Like, these battles did happen. Wars were fought. These people said these things with passion and vigor because they truly wanted independence in a stronger, independent America. And their reasons were varied, and you learn about that, and they were still united under one cause of being, Americans or whatever. I don't know. Like, they just got too much into here's what everyone said, but without getting into the so what. So I got a little bit bored, but I'm trying to get back into it because I need some enrichment. Wow. Well, that was a long-winded way of saying, yeah, Daniel, I think next time I see you, you'll probably be doing one on one of those historical ships. You'll probably be doing a historical reenactment of the Boston Tea Party. Or maybe that's your midlife crisis. What?
Okay, that's good.
The next time I see you, you'll be post midlife crisis, and you'll be like, I hated what I did. I wanted to be a
just like so
actor
all the time, just completely unbothered by anything.
Yeah, Danny, does that sound realistic? Maybe in your heart of hearts, you don't have to answer because you might not want that on a podcast, but just like think about, is that something you want?
Yeah, maybe that is. Maybe that is the one.
I knew it.
We got him.
Easy. I was so right. Let's go.
Okay, well, we can wrap up this episode here. A little later than usual, but
goodness, yeah. You guys, it's pretty late. Sorry about
a little late.
Issues. The audio issue or the connection issues.
Did I cut out a lot? Like,
no, Alex was having the problems.
Oh, really?
It wouldn't let me.
Yeah, there's 11 people on this call. And,
are there?
Someone posted the Zoom link in a group me, and now a bunch of high schoolers are joining it and doing their best impression of KSI and Kai Cenat. They're saying like the Rizzler in the chat. Are you going to cut the feed? Daniel, cut the feed.
Sorry, yeah,